Borders mean lots of things. People will talk about borders as places of exclusion or of hatred even, and death. But borders don't have to be places of division. God calls us to live into the reality that borders are also places of encounter, opportunity, and hope. Not just here on the U.S.-Mexico border, but wherever we lived and whatever borders that exist that divide us from other places. The ministry of Frontera Cristo is centered in the community of Douglas Namo Prieta. They grew up together. They're both about 120 years old. Frontera Cristo seeks to work in partnership with people and organizations on both sides of the border and listen to what are the visions of the community and how can we support making those gospel visions realities.
When we started doing partnership, it was like not Frontera Cristo doing things, but supporting organizations that need it. We were just thinking, how can we support directly to the migrants? People that are waiting to ask for asylum to the States, that are living in a tent in the line on the border, and they're very vulnerable to the organized crime. Our volunteers go, pick them up, walk with them, because they need to be safe. So the Migrant Resource Center is a place where people that are seeking asylum can come and use the restrooms, take showers, and we provide clothing, shoes, water, coffee, some food. We also provide medicine. The goal of the Migrant Resource Center is supporting our migrant brothers and sisters, whatever their legal status is, to be welcome and to feel safety in Agua Prieta. And with the children, you can see the smiles of, finally, we find a place where we're going to be safe.
Cuando llegué a esta ciudad de Agua Prieta, me conocí con el pastor Marcos Adams. Nos sentamos para pensar en algo que diera respuesta a esta situación migratoria. Y lo más rentable fue una cooperativa de campesinos que tuviéramos la oportunidad de darle el valor agregado a nuestro producto. Entonces, Café Justo inició hace casi 18 años.
We want gospel values to be represented in how we treat those who are migrating, those who are seeking refuge, those who are fleeing extreme poverty or extreme violence, and move beyond just the humanitarian piece. Sometimes it's easier just to pick people up off the side of the road. But if we keep finding people on the side of the road in the same place, sooner or later we have to figure out, how do we fix the road? The farmers from Café Justo gave us one way of people being able to stay on their land and not even have to go over that dangerous road.
The idea behind Café Justo is to address one of the root causes of migration, which are economics. Many families were pushed to migrate because of the low prices on coffee. When instead of $1.50 for every pound of coffee, they start receiving between 20 to 30 cents instead. A lot of people didn't see any other choice but to migrate. So Café Justo is giving them the opportunity to control every aspect of the business. Farmers, they don't just receive a fair price, but they control the processing of the coffee, the exporting of the coffee, the marketing. And in the coffee business, that's where the money really is. So one of the positive impacts that we've been witnessing lately is migration in reverse. People that had left, they're returning back because what they have now that they didn't have before is options. And migrate if they want to, but don't migrate because they have no other choice.
Creemos y hemos comprobado que esto ha sido la mejor manera de convencer a muchas familias para que se queden en su comunidad.
Our relationship with Frontera Cristo has been really great since the beginning. We just see each other like family. Even though they are doing their piece and we are doing our piece, at the end we're working together for peacemaking.
The church here has such an incredible role because the church extends beyond all borders.
We don't see each other as different towns or as strangers. We see us as a whole community that just happened to be divided by this wall.
Hay dos ciudades que se hermanan, Douglas y Agua Prieta, y eso es lo que se ha hecho. Douglas puede compartir esa experiencia de hermandad con los otros estados de Estados Unidos, y Agua Prieta puede compartir en todo México. Yo creo que sí lo podemos lograr.
As Christians, we are commanded to go out. We are not commanded to stay put and just pray. We need to go out and engage and see what we can do in our own communities.
Peacemaking, I think, is the responsibility for all those who follow Christ, the Prince of Peace. Here on the border and in different places where we enter more fully into suffering, we can experience joy more fully. And I think when we don't enter into the suffering of the world, the joy is muted. when we see the 18-foot steel barrier that separates our communities from one another. It's a reminder of the work that we have as people of faith to work for a world where Jesus has broken down the dividing walls of hostility, and we can cultivate community across borders.